All right.
Evening, everyone. Welcome to Mecha Pew Pew. I am your host, Jonathan, aka Mecha Osaka. I am also joined by my co-host, AO Mecha, Ariel. How are you, Ariel?
Good, John. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the show. Very, very excited for tonight's episode. And shout out to everybody that's watching or simulcasting tonight, both on YouTube and on Twitch. So I just want to say hi to everybody joining us tonight.
Welcome, everyone. Tonight, the subject of the conversation, community building, right? Community building in Canada, more precisely, where we have a first-hand experience. We are joined by amazing guests and basically the specialists of community building in Canada. We have first we have our very good friend.
Set them up high, John. Set them up high.
Yeah, no, they are technically. I like it. We always bring the best guests. So Victor from Gunpla, Montreal. How are you, Victor?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Amazing. Tell us more about yourself and your community.
All right. So my name is Victor. Most people call me Teddy. So hi. For us, Gunpla Montreal started in 2015. We're not one of the oldest clubs in Canada. Vanpla is, but they're not here at the moment. So I'll take its place. I just started with how I got started into Gunpla, actually. So I was just sitting playing video games one day. My friend came on. He says, "Oh, I can't play today. I'm building Gundams." And I'm like, "We have a store for that in Montreal?" And that's where it all started, straight up.
Yeah. Nice.
So a week after, I went to the store. I spent a lot.
Nice.
And from there on, I was like, is there a community for this in Montreal? And luckily for me, like one had actually just started. Like the Facebook group was created maybe like a week before I started building.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, cool. So I was like, I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I joined up, and we were relatively young. We were just a bunch of people looking for a place to build and have fun together.
Awesome. Hey, that's a really good start on the thing there, Victor. Very I think a lot of people can relate with that, just because it is something that you just don't, just like, where do you find people to go with and like find the same people that like in your hobby. I want to throw it across, like we're going to get more into GMTL in a bit, but Jesse here representing Gunpla Ottawa. How's it going, Jesse?
Welcome, Jesse.
Thank you for having me. Things are going good. How is everyone else doing tonight?
Very good, very good.
Doing well.
Tell us more about yourself, Jesse. Tell us more about Gunpla Ottawa. So a slight introduction.
So basically, we're a small club in the nation's capital. We're kind of the casual club. I think that's why everyone kind of likes us, because we're very laid back. We're one of the newer clubs, but not the newest. But just growing and learning, and things have been slowed down a little bit from COVID, but
well, we'll talk more.
Back to things soon. Yeah,
we'll talk more about that.
We're gonna get more into
that. COVID, community with COVID. It's a small challenge to face. Now, next we have Andrew from SIDE6, based in Toronto. Tell us more about yourself, Andrew, and the club.
Yeah,
a recurring guest, actually, right?
Andrew's been recurring.
So obviously I build lots of Gundams and other mecha and miniatures and a bunch of other stuff. Back in 2019 now, I guess, right around GBWC, SIDE6 coalesced with Ariel and myself and a couple other guys, as we wanted to form a community in Southern Ontario that really worked with all of the different stores in the area, and also trying to bring in all of the different people in Southern Ontario, because they were so spread out, and trying to build a bit more community and try and get them together physically so we get to see each other, meet each other.
Yeah, that's great. That is great.
I want to add on to that, and also it's so much fun being in a community, regardless of what their hobby is. I've met all you guys in person, and I just want to say, regardless of where we are in Canada or in the world, I think our respective communities have shown a lot of really cool members, really cool work, and I'm just so glad to have met you guys and and be part of this amazing communities. And that's plural, right, John?
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be a lot of like talks about communities tonight.
We still haven't had our beer together yet.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
we do. We are.
What are we drinking tonight? Hang on. So tonight, I think it's one of the first times we all kind of like had a chance to sit down and I don't know, have a drink. Is that cheers to you guys?
Cheers.
Happy Thursday. To you guys. What are you guys having there, by the way? You have Asahi for John. I got this guy here. This is Young.
I got
double chocolate.
Apparently, I missed
Palm Bay and all that stuff.
I have Palm Bay because
water.
I love Palm Bay.
My God.
That's it. Before we continue on with the subject, though, I just want to say hi to everybody on the chat. I'm just going to read out some of the names here because, guys, thank you for tuning in. A lot of members from across Canada, across the world tuning in. Gunpla Ottawa said hi earlier on. Edsel Reyes. Captain Nate is in the house. Louis Law. I think that's the first time I saw Louis Law's names here. So hi, Louis. Nicholas Tayada Sanchez, and we have some photos of NTS coming up your way. We got Wildsec, we got VFX Viper all the way out from the West Coast. Just want to say hi to you there. Let's see here, Luis Monet, our friend down South America. Well, actually, no, where's Puerto Rico? Wherever Puerto Rico is, he's there. Welcome to the show.
I think
it's part of the U.S.
It's on the other side. Yeah, it's part
of America.
Okay, so geography is not my best thing, of course. Mech DL from New York. Manny is here. Neon Wave. We got Louis Law saying, what did he say here? How do we get talking bear in the show now? Oh, there we go. Dark Trinity is here. Teddy fan. We got Simon Lamb as well, and he's just saying I love you guys. We have an awesome lineup of things for tonight, guys. So I'm looking forward to getting this.
Thank you, Louis.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we love you too, Louis.
Yes.
Don't forget also, guys, on YouTube, Super Chat is available. So if you want to help this channel grow, get gear, and help us with the production, feel free to check that out. And also, if you have something to ask our guests or us, type in question ahead of the time of the chat, and we will get your question on air and get it hopefully answered. And if we don't know the answer, well, tough. Wow,
we'll figure it out.
We'll wing it. Anyways, cheers, guys. That was my spill. John, you got the ball.
Amazing. All right, so we're gonna go on the roundtable approach on this one. Mostly gonna see like a few like historical events of each community in each club around the country, right? So basically, we're gonna start on the history of the community. So we can start with Teru always.
Oh, really? I gotta start.
Well, yeah. I mean, the oldest group in this chat right now. So tell us more.
Go on. The history of this, I've been very curious. It's like I've been to the Montreal shows. You guys have been to Toronto a few times, and it's kind of like I've always known you're around. That's from my perspective, and I got bits and pieces of like how you guys formed, but like I think you have an interesting story to tell us tonight to see like to show us and let us hear like how it became to be. How did you guys glue it together?
At first, it was just four crazy dudes like willing to actually put the time and effort in to actually running a club. Like what a lot of people don't understand is that like we are all volunteers. We don't do this for anything else but like the passion and the fun. Basically, we do this for fun, right? And that's basically the core of every group. Basically, like no one gets paid. No one, there's not really any. There's really no benefit to actually running a club. So
what?
All right.
You can't edit this, right?
Wow. I hit her nerve already. So basically how we started was 2015. Like I said, like I started, I built when I was younger, but everyone knows about those little like, the Gundam Wing model kits you could find at like Walmart and stuff. And I started with that. So give me a second. I'm getting there. Give me a second. All right. So So basically, like, we started in 2015. It was actually we didn't really start in 2015. 2015 was when the club was first established, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we were just like feeling each other out at first. We were just like a big group of people, wanting to find out like a space to build, a space to learn, a space to grow, right? And our first big event was. Give me a second.
Trying to find.
Yeah, I'm trying to the place to build, the place to grow. All right. So like our first event was actually not our event. We piggybacked off a local store here, Sci-Fi Anime, if you guys know about that. Right.
Yes.
It's actually, I think, one of the original stores of the country. Actually, it's an old store. Yeah.
He became our like our mentor. Like he showed us the ropes, like how to get into the industry and stuff like that. And this picture was this is one of the first memories I've had. All right, like I had the hair going. Nate looks so young. Nick, by the way, is the founder of the club.
Yeah. Right? So Nick is the person on the left to be.
Are these everybody that founded your club? By the way, are these everybody?
Artin has been with Artin, the guy kneeling down, has been a volunteer. He's been with us like through and through from the beginning.
Yeah. So founding members.
Yeah, Nate was also a founding member too, right?
Oh, Nate, he's been on our show a few times. I think I know that.
Yeah. Nate, I call Nate my master. Like basically, like anything I have a problem with, I'll send it to him, and he'll judge me on it. And usually, I might start crying because he's really harsh, but at the same time, it's good. And then you have me with my wild hair there.
Nice.
Nice.
Let's precise that this is a convention and that Nick on the left is cosplaying.
Yes.
That's not his natural attire.
I thought that was a shirt.
Exactly.
What? No, I'm just trying to.
We now have viewer discretion advice. We have some nude French guy in the photo.
Oh no, we love Nick. Like Nick is basically one of the biggest reasons of our growth. Basically, like he basically got his foot in the door and he just went at it. Right, like. You have to be persistent, all right? You can't just like give up on your first try with like, okay, it's like there's always a second option, there's always a third option. You just have to figure out what you can do and what you have here. Yeah. Like and like for us, conventions have always been our thing. Like the moment we got our first convention, we ran with it. All right.
Yeah. Would you say that is like your main focus?
Yes.
Like what basically what are your core philosophies as a club?
As a club, to get as many people into building as possible. It's like basically like the more people build, the more people will come together, and what is it? We're going with quantity, and the quality will come eventually. If you guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Because at first, like all I did was straight build. Then I started painting. Then I started modding, and then if you guys can see a little corner back there, I call that my corner of shame.
Oh.
Those are just projects that will probably never see the light of day again. So yeah, like it keeps building. And like speaking of small events, like this image here was our first event, one of our first smaller events there. Like these guys have been in the club long through and through there. We've been there. This was a small. I think John, you came to this event, right?
Yeah. I was there early, like in
yeah. I was gonna say,
but it was always in the background.
I thought he was somewhere back there, but it's not. After looking at this photo now, he's not him. Sorry, John.
I'm like in all the communities, I've always been in the background and just trying to like just attending and having fun with everybody.
With his white van and all that.
I was talking to Ariel earlier, and I was saying, I'm like, dude, like going through all these pictures brought me down like through memory lane like crazy. So this is one of our first events. It was like a local event there. We called it was a RetroCon basically. It was basically a space where people came in and they were trading their retro collectibles, and they gave us a table. Then we promoted Gunpla there. That was always fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is RetroCon one of Daniel's things?
Yeah. Yes.
So he's helped you guys.
Retro Expo, yeah. He's been there too. Like every event, he gives a little space there where we can like just come show people the hobby.
That's a lot of model kits. Are those all the club's model kits in the showcase over there?
I can confidently say that's like 95% Nick's.
Yeah, no, it is one of the gimmick of Gunpla Montreal when they attend events is that they have like
we have everything.
They don't have all the kits. They have like 95% of all the kits displayed on the table, and like it's very impressive, and I think it's very encouraging in the hobby where like it is for everyone. And
like one of the main philosophies there is that you don't need to actually paint your models, because the majority of the things on this. Hey, I see you stop triggering people here. I'm just saying, you don't have to paint the model for them to look good, right? So basically, the majority of them are just straight painted, panel line, decal, and top coated.
Yeah.
Next picture here. This was our Christmas party held at Nick's tiny apartment. It was a great time. So yeah, like I said, like before, it's like we just take a group of people. We invite whoever wants to come. We basically like eventually our group became more than just a group of friends. Like I consider a lot of these guys family. So this was our first Christmas party. We did a little Secret Santa exchange. Great idea for you guys to do it. This was our first ever Gunpla part meet trade up. Gunpla trade meet. So basically, everyone would just bring like a box of parts. We meet up and do some underground dealings.
Yeah,
we did that in a parking lot here at like a Chinese grocery store or plaza somewhere up north, and
that was the best. Okay,
it was the best. Like we have onlookers coming out and like going like, and then their kids are running to us like, "Is this Transformers?" And I'm like, "Yes, you have $20. It's yours."
I have a story about Transformers. I was I travel a lot in Canada, so like I go to Vancouver once in a while, right? And every time I go to Vancouver, bro, these guys, I'll be in the store and I'm just like filming like video chat, and they'll be like, "All right, I want that, I want that, I want that." When I got to the gate, to the security checkpoint, the guy opened the box and he was like, "Are these Transformers?" Like, with the most deadpan voice, I was like, "Yes, they're Transformers," because I didn't want to explain Gundam to him. I was so sad, man. Like at that moment, like my heart just sank so hard.
So I noticed a lot of logos on your shirt, right? On everyone's shirt. Talking about even the shirt you're wearing right now. Logo for inspiration. What where does that come from?
It was actually we asked one of our friends like to design a logo. I think he was like 15 at the time, but like he came back in a week. He sent it to us, and we loved it. Like the original logo didn't have the V fin on it.
Yeah,
see the V fin. It was just the GMTL. But like, what's great about the logo is that you can see this from like a mile away, and you know what it is.
Exactly.
We could see you a mile away. So
yeah, just pointing out where the spot is.
Sorry, I have no filter sometimes.
That's amazing. But so that was basically one of the Gunpla Montreal has been one of the oldest club out there, and I think it's been inspiring for many, including Gunpla Ottawa, right? Gunpla Ottawa started their own club a few years ago. Jesse, when did you start the club again?
Me?
Well, yeah.
I think it was 20. Oh, that's a good question. I swear it was 2017, but now I'm
very recent. Then that's good.
Now I'm having misgivings when we actually started.
Yeah. How did it start? What was what stem? The root of this Are
we transitioning to me now? Because I know that we
are
more slides.
Oh, we are.
Oh my god!
Oh,
you just ambushed me.
Yeah.
All right. Yo, share your screen, man. Go.
Sorry.
Okay, hold on.
It's a conversation. We're gonna go on and on and.
I love John's train of like I sometimes he catches me off guard. He'll just start talking about something random. I'm like, wait, he wants you to transition to what now?
Hold on, my computer's all messed up.
Nice.
But this is I like it. I like where you're going with this, John.
Jesus. Okay. So Jesse, tell us more. So how did Gunpla Ottawa was founded? What was the core philosophies, and how did it start? And what was the
So the amusing part is this is actually a great segue from Vic, because we didn't really have a club, and I didn't really think there was anyone else in Ottawa that even liked Gundam. And the only way I actually met those people is by going to Montreal.
Oh, exactly. That's what I said.
So
that's perfect segue.
All of our take credit for that one, John. Sure, why not?
Nice.
And so all of our core original members were somehow involved with Gunpla Montreal, which is amazing. And so the original members, and I mean I haven't seen them in a while, but you guys might know them. Viewers, just don't worry about it. Random names. It's like Bogdan, Richard, I think. OGs. So they wanted to hang out. I met them in Montreal, and we all lived in the same city, and we'd never met before. We shopped at the same store, never met them before. And so they were like, you know what, we should hang out sometime. And we should just hang out. It was going to be in one of our living rooms. And then
Perfect,
and then it was maybe we should ask Bill at the Hobby Center, and the Hobby Center is our local store, if we could just hang out there. And then Bill's like, yeah, you know what, come, bring as many people as you want. And that's sort of how we started.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
That is great. And what are the core philosophies of your club? How do you want to project your image?
We literally were just trying to find a place to hang out. And so
but that's what it is, right?
That is our core philosophy, is basically just kind of hanging out, doing what you want to do. I know there are some people in our club that are actually quite talented, and I do like that they push themselves, but I never push anyone to push themselves. It's all about fun. And this is maybe one of the secrets to why I'm a good choice to kind of be in charge, is I'm not really a Gunpla guy all in. I know, it's heartbreaking, right?
No, but he's a strong Gundam guy.
I'm a there's stronger than Gundam guy. I live in
He's super Gundam guy.
No,
I've been a figure collector since I was for the last almost 20 years. Yeah. And so the thing about Gunpla is it's not only a really cool hobby to get into, it's sort of like it's the social lubricant of Gundam. So you basically get into Gunpla to socialize with other Gundam fans. It's 100% true. I challenge anyone to dispute that. It's true.
No, I was gonna start off our conversation with, can you guys describe each of your club in a very, very bad way? And we totally skipped that part. But
it's okay. we can go back.
We're gonna go back and do that later.
Getting back to my point is, so at the meets, I do like building Gunpla, and I usually just build them to fill holes in my toy collection. They never made a toy of this one, so it is what it is. But that means that I have more time to actually spend doing club stuff. So it kind
how many members do you have in your admin team, or who's part of the?
That's
the core team.
I am not the president by any means. I consider myself to be the lead administrator. No one else really has an official role, but I do have a group of people that I go to for counsel on stuff. So I don't tend to do things without getting approval.
Nice.
Us as more we're usually between 4 and 5 people. So the 5th person is nice for tiebreakers, but usually for us, we're 5 people. Currently, it's Nick, Guillaume, Justin, William, me. Okay. And basically, we're a democracy, so everything has to be voted on. If the vote doesn't pass, we'll go through it. We'll pass over it, and we'll come back to it later and see how it goes.
That's good. That is good. One thing I noticed. Sorry to go back to Jesse. One thing I noticed about Ottawa is one of your core philosophies is to be just relaxing and hanging out, and I think your club has been exemplary. Jesus
exemplary.
Wow. Exemplary.
Yeah.
Wow. Find the words, John. Find the words. Stop drinking, John.
Just relax, right? And it's been one of the core feeling that you've been conveying all across Canada, is that you guys are growing, and you are growing in a very relaxed way. When structure, it is structured around fun, instead of being you're not taking it too seriously, because that's it, right?
And that's what we pride ourselves on. I'm gonna run out of time here really soon, so I guess I should run through some of these pictures really fast,
Oh, go on.
John, I thought you were gonna grill me on my logo. No one ever asked with the logo.
I thought it was gonna be Andrew's thing on that. But hey.
This is funny.
We have the technology.
It's literally me with a 15-year-old version of Photoshop, which is hilarious.
Nice.
And so Bogdan insisted that we use the Burning Gundam's head, or the Shining Gundam. There. And so we put that in there.
Cow.
And then I spent hours going through fonts to find one that I liked.
Before we get to that, I just want to say a big thank you to John here, donating 20 CAD, John Bergeron.
Thank you.
Bergeron, to the show. Thank you so much for that. Really, really appreciate it.
Do I get my butt after?
Merci beaucoup.
Nice.
That's my French for that. Thank you so much for that.
And so,
like, it's one thing I would like to mention about Bogdan in general. He's been one of the like, okay, the thing about community, it's also always centered around certain people, right? Certain people with the will to do things. I think Bogdan has been like very he's been living in Ottawa, but also very involved in Montreal and everything. He's a great trigger of events, right? It's true. It's true.
Without Bogdan, the club wouldn't exist. I don't.
No, exactly. Bogdan.
Yeah.
Well, it's
you need people with that energy.
He's literally been deported to Croatia now, but
Serbia.
Yeah, but
no, he wasn't deported. He had to go home.
He had to go home.
But I mean, that's the thing. It's these core people. Like Bogdan, like Nick, right, in Montreal and everything. That's a very it's a very impressive thing that some people are very important in this and triggers so much. Yeah.
And so this logo incorporates the 3 Gundam colors: blue, red, yellow. It's pretty straightforward. I always wanted to mix it down to something that's smaller and more marketable, but it never happened. Just to go through some pictures really quick. This was one of our first meets, so you can see there's maybe 8 or 10 people here. Not too much. This is one of our like maybe the next year, so we've almost pretty much doubled at this point.
I just want to make a comment. I saw your photos earlier on. I love the backdrop that you have for your club and your club meets. I mean, like it's just it's so busy. Not I'm saying that it's daunting or anything. It's just I feel it from the photo. You know what I mean? I feel the community and the hobby in this photo, man.
And so we try not to get into the shopper's way, because obviously we have our meetings in the hobby center.
Great
and we're very thankful to the hobby center for letting us have our meetings there, because they have a large space, as you can see. That one was a pretty good size. Here's I wanted to show this. We got a little cake made for one of our anniversaries.
Oh, that's so cool! I like that.
And so we just it's not much, but I always try to do something really funny and go out of my way. There's me and John. I had to put this here because I wanted to embarrass him.
Yes, on that, but at the same time, I did not know who that guy in the yellow shirt was, and I'm like, really? I know, dude, without the beard. Look, can you zoom in, please, on that? I just want to. I want to memorize this face. Look at that.
Oh no! It's so baby face. We love him.
I know. I love it.
So that's me and John, because John won something at one of our events. So
I remember that day.
We do welcome people from other towns to come and help us, because I mean, for competitions we have pretty light turnout usually, so it's always nice when someone shows up. And of course, holding the clipboard and looking very judgy is Brian. He's involved in many communities. Gunpla, he helps with Gunpla. He does miniatures, busts. He might be watching this now. I'm surprised he hasn't given me a hard time already. He may be the best hand brusher I've ever seen in my life. A lot of the stuff he does, people think is decals, but it's just him freehanding.
It's very inspiring.
I hope he's watching, because I'm singing his praises right now. So I wanted to throw that picture in there because it's me and John, and it's not a terrible picture. It's just really funny.
Yeah, let me add to that. I remember that day specifically because I almost died. It was that giant snowstorm. Remember?
Oh yes.
We got ramen after, and I almost got hit by a car. Great day.
Yeah.
Great day.
I had to shovel a few people out. I had to shovel this old lady from the parking lot.
Yep.
And so this is this is actually, I think, the biggest meet we ever had. So you can see in the corner there's a lot of light coming in. We had to open the doors and go outside. So there's another picture from the other side. We have a photo booth set up. I don't think anyone actually took advantage of it.
I was gonna say there's a photo booth over there at Havocs. I've seen that. That's a pretty big one.
It's in my garage.
we bought the same photo booth they use for GBWC just because. Don't ask why. And so this is the outside setup.
Oh wow.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, the airbrush going.
Nice.
It works. Outside, and Aaron comes and brings his kids sometimes. If Aaron's watching, hi Aaron. I don't think he's watching, but he brings his kids sometimes. They're adorable. But yeah, we're literally
watch the replay. By the way, if you say hi to him, I'm sure he'll watch it.
and so the funniest part is at some point it did start raining, I think. But it was not great. I think that's the last picture I have. That is the last picture I have.
Last picture?
Nice.
That's the last picture. So as you can see,
it's very nice.
It grows very slowly and steadily, but that's kind of the pace we like.
No, that's it. It's all about resiliency, I think, in the community. And Gunpla is such a glue, social glue that you said, right? The social lubricant or whatever. And the more you do, the more will come, and that is the beauty of it.
And it's kind of tricky too, because in this community especially, getting people to socialize is kind of tricky. So Gunpla actually does make it easier for a lot of people, as long as you create sort of a low pressure welcoming situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Are we going to do an episode about drama after?
Oh,
sure, maybe. Well,
guys on the chat, let's get into a poll on that one. I don't know if everybody's ready for that. Here's the thing, though. Let's talk about that real quick. And I'm not going to go into details. Like every community has their ups and downs. It's not something uncommon or unheard of. I am very happy to say that like there are communities that are drama free, which is great, and that's something I think a lot of clubs should strive for and use as an example. But the thing is, it does happen. Definitely a different story altogether on that, because I think it is a subject that not a lot of people talk about enough these days. Yeah. So you know what?
You're dealing with people, right? You're dealing with people with different backgrounds, different opinions, and different stuff. Yeah. So of course, there's some things that's going to happen, and then there's ways to work with that, right? But there is a community that is so far. Oh, welcome, Derick.
Hey, let's throw Derick in there.
Really?
It's like, all right. Late. He's late. Just go.
No problem.
Yeah, we love you. We love you, Derick.
So Derick is from Vanpla. Just don't forget to check him out.
Vanpla, I the intro for you, man.
Yeah. No, really apologize. Just.
Do you know where you are? Do you know what day it is right now, Derick? Or do you know your name?
Friday, right? Yeah. I lost track. Yeah, no.
Vanpla is Vanpla. Oh, sure. Vanpla is the Vancouver community, the oldest community in Canada. Welcome, Derick. Tell us more about yourself and your community. What are the core philosophies of your?
Just dive right in, John. Like no warm up at all.
No, that's good. That's good. Throw me in the deep end. I usually swim anyways, right?
No, yeah. It's just smooth conversation.
First of all, who are you? What do you do?
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to apologize for showing up late. I took a half sick day today because of a headache and wasn't able to sleep well last night. So I just kind of woke up. Number one. Now, about me, I'm Derick. I actually came to the show late. Vanpla was actually established 3 years before I joined in Vancouver.
I thought you were joining the show. So 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Before I joined. It was created by a couple people like Nick McLean, Jason Wu, Ian Chan. I think Wilson is even an older member than I am, and Hauf as well. They were built upon the principles, kind of like they wanted to copy what was it? Those Gundam guys down in the south in Southern California,
right?
Where they were doing a whole bunch of things for the community, and that inspired Nick and everybody else here to start the club. But it was kind of like here and there kind of thing. It was kind of directionless, and so I helped kind of bring in a perspective and saying, okay, what do we want to do? How do we want to grow? What kind of people do we want to get and stuff like that? And our motto has always been learn, build, and share, right? And we always go by that motto in everything that we do and all our meetings and so forth, right?
Great.
So that's it. And that basically Vanpla has grown into such a community where, yeah, we have a bit of cliques here and there. You guys know who you are, but they're good cliques, people that support each other on and off, Vanpla time, if you will, right?
Oh, great.
So,
Derek, do you have any photos for show and tell to us tonight, or are we?
Oh, yes, I do. Actually, I do have some. I have some photos which kind of make from way back, because I got photos from when we were still in my basement.
Define way back.
2011.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
2011, 2012.
That is a pretty like.
I was a kid then, man.
Yeah, it's like
baby.
10 years ago. 10 years ago. Yeah, and basically we started out like having meetings in my basement and the living room of another friend first, before we even had any sponsors or whatever. That's where we started. We had a swap meet there, everything, and then from there it just steadily grew, and we just took off from there. Let's see.
Whenever
how do I
ready,
share
Derek.
some?
There's
Sure.
a button at the bottom.
There's a button at the bottom.
Share screen.
Third button.
Oh, there it is. Share screen.
Nice.
Okay, I should move this over here then.
I can't wait to the questions sections because like after you and SIDE6, like there's some really cool and I have some questions for Vanpla that I didn't write down on that. So some
for specific reasons or because you just forgot.
Both. same really.
Nice.
So yeah, I've got my share screen there. Yeah. So this is Wilson. And this is Ian King, two of our oldest members in Vanpla. That's them sitting in my two little couches there.
Oh my god!
This
is the most. Sorry, I just realized this is the most we've had.
Yeah, that's it.
There we go. I got it.
I swear to God, like Wilson has not aged a day since this photo.
Yo,
I think
Asian don't raisin.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly right. Wow, he looks the same as before. I was like, oh man. Right?
No, just wait till he hits like 65, man. Instant raisin right there.
Oh man.
This is Nick McLean who basically started our club, right? Made the business cards and set our motto that we follow, to this day. And then we were having a meeting, showing that, and let's see. Oh, you should be able to come on. No, wait.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh,
there's Half, like a teenager, and this is in our friends, another member's room. What was it? I think it was the name. He had a place that he let us come and meet, and this is in a spray booth, spraying, airbrushing in one of our meetings, right? So yeah, and this is us. We were doing, I think, a putty demo. I think at this time we were sitting there, meeting, just having fun, chilling out, right? All like back when we started for the first 6 months to 10 months was just at our houses.
All the startups I've seen is so brotherly. Like it's
like literally you're in someone's house just chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was.
You like Gunpla?
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
Gunpla. Let's hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it was. This is us planning one of the first dioramas for the IPMS because we wanted to make a good showing. So we wanted to make a good display. So we were planning that out. Who takes what kit and whatnot to demonstrate. And everyone's like, kind of taking notes and pretending to pay attention for the photo.
Just like the show.
Wow,
all right, guys. Don't forget, tune in next week. I'm out of here.
Let's see you.
Yeah, exactly. Peace, y'all. Right? And yeah, some old members' kits and stuff like that. And this is us at the IPMS show. Or actually, no, I don't think this is at a Anime Evolution, one of the conventions, right? That we used to go to and just try to say, hey, come join us. Do you like Gundams? Come join us. This is our first early logo back in the day. That's Isaac there. Making a demo and saying, yeah, come join us, kind of things. Yeah, I know, we miss you too, man. And this is us trying to say, hey, you're interested? Come build with us, kind of thing, right? It's basically literally like, we want you kind of thing.
Yeah. like a cult, right?
Yeah, exactly. Later, as we grew to kind of like this size. This is one of our sponsors, Key Tea House. So this is when we grew a couple of years later, and then we just took over the whole cafe, right? Back in the day.
So random.
Oh yeah.
This is someone's restaurant? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Tea shop.
Yeah, someone's restaurant. It's a cafe.
Yeah.
Tea shop, cafe. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so people.
Because we also had to deal with one of the bubble tea shops here too. I remember one of our first meets. The place is no longer open now, but I think it was called Magic Tea House. And
man, that place is great.
We would just meet there. It's like what is it? The owner was like, "Yo, as long as you buy stuff, we don't care. Stay as long as you want." Because people come and play board games, right? So we get there. We would just take over like you guys here. We just take over one section and we had fun. We built together. We ate. We talked.
That place is famous.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember Aiko was her name, who ran this shop, and she's like telling me, yeah, we'd rather have you guys because you guys actually buy stuff on the regular. You get the students and just buy one thing and sit there for hours. Right? The little things like that make us our heartwarming and stuff like that, right? And this is remember one of the other things that we did, the dojo. I think you've seen it, Ted. Right, Area, you haven't seen it yet, but it's upgraded
I
since
know,
then. 'Cause
so
I've always had a
teased.
spray booth that had,
I was teased by this.
yeah. So
Is that a Mr.
this is the
Hobby
old
rack?
spray booth back then. That's the no, that's a Tamiya rack.
Tamiya rack.
Same thing,
I got
man.
this
Same
rack.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, fair enough,
need
same
one.
thing. Now I got I still have this, and then I have another rack for GSX Rios where I keep all the paints in the garage.
Yeah.
So I was able to let this be available for the members to paint if they can't afford to have something in their own home, right? So we called that the dojo back then, and so people were allowed to. This is what it used to look like. We had 2 spray booths and stuff like that. And
That's where a
we
community started.
back in
Keep
the
that
days.
in mind, right?
Yeah, this is when the community was starting. Yeah, right. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll let you use this place, and people can spray. A lot of people.
You
like
guys
this
are
place.
already one up on us, so.
These guys like this was part of my room, right? Because you can't see the other side. On the left hand side is like it just actually leads into my room. So I'd be sleeping on weekends, right? And these kids would pop in at like 11, 12 o'clock. I'm still passed out, right? So they're like, hey, Derick home? As they approach this window, maybe they hear me snoring, right? And they're like, yeah, Derick's in. They just open the window. Hey, Derick, what? Can we paint? Yeah, sure. So I go out, stagger to the door, open the door, let them in, close the door. I go back to sleep, and then they just sit there and paint the whole day.
Or watch you.
Yeah, no, forget it. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm dead passed out, right? Like I'm just gone, and they're just sitting there, and they're just airbrushing and stuff like that. And by the time I actually wake up, they're usually done, or they're on my TV, like playing video games or something like that, or watching anime. Right. So this was like the beginnings of the dojo. It's not like that now, but back then it was like this that people can do and spray into and stuff like that, right? But yeah, so really tight quarters.
I love that the logo of your club is there, and then it's just like you don't even know where we're supposed to sit down, stand up, or
It says Vanpla Bernie Wiseman Memorial Cup. Tell me more about this Bernie Wiseman Memorial Cup.
Okay, so that was kind of the running joke because we wanted to kind of like play with Bernie from 0080, right? And it was a funny thing that Nick came up with because like, hey, let's call this the Bernie Wiseman Memorial Cup because those guys won't get it. And they thought it was serious because in the IPMS, you know how serious they were. And Bernie Wiseman sounds like an actual real name. So the Gunpla Cup at the IPMS, when we are actually able to, when they gave us our Gundam category and let us, kind of help judge everything, and they helped us judge it, we called it the Bernie Wiseman Memorial Cup, so it sounded legit.
That's precious. I like that.
And I think the original one was I think it was a little cup, and then I think Nick created a little graphic of a hamburger.
Oh no!
His favorite food, right?
That worked out.
Call it the Bernie.
And the funny thing, and they called it the Bernie Wiseman Cup. But then, what was interesting was, okay, I don't know why. But because at the time the president of the IPMS, he thought it would be cool, and then he knew this was very Japanese-centric hobby and stuff like that, right? And he pronounced Bernie Wiseman in a very horrible Japanese accent at the time.
Bernie Wiseman.
Okay, so the winner of the Gunpla is the Bernie Wiseman Cup. And I'm thinking to myself,
yeah, let's roll with it.
Wow, we pushed it way too far. Looking at the stage when he was announcing the
all right.
yeah, so that was an interesting thing with the IPMS, but it was just kind of like a cool little thing that you decided to add and throw in there. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's just more of the dojo stuff. Then we can move on from here. All these pictures, if you guys like to see it, you can take a look. Just go to Vanpla, and it's under our albums. And if you want to go, just go to the earliest albums. You can see these pictures. You can see me half the size that I am now.
You can see Young Hao.
Young Hao.
Yeah, you can see Young Hao, and you can see Young when he first comes in and joins up and stuff like that. So
yo, please tell me Young has like a mullet or something.
you can see.
No.
Young.
He was younger.
I'm half the size that I am now. Yeah, I'm younger, and I'm half the size that I am now. like sideways.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, I grew out sideways since then.
Oh, yeah, yo,
Right?
Nice.
it's get fat or die trying. Remember that.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's
Alright.
true. That's true. You gotta
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, Derek. That was great. Vanpla being the oldest community is very impressive, right? Like having like such a track record, and I think you guys led a lot of a creation of new clubs in different parts of Canada. One very recent, and I think the most recent of all, SIDE6 from Toronto. When did you guys start? Actually, this is Andrew and Mecha Painter, and AO Mecha and Ariel founded this club. What 2 years ago?
Oh my God!
Yeah,
is it 2 years ago?
we started talking about it mid 2019, and it really started to sort of coalesce and form in time for GBWC of that year, which was what, October, late October. So I guess that's when we sort of properly founded.
Properly
GBWC
launched
April,
was
right?
properly launched was definitely the fall. So I think it was like August before. I think it was August, wasn't it, that we did it? Because I went to Vancouver and then we went to Montreal for the GBWC, and then we launched SIDE6. So it was about around that time.
Weren't you're supposed to help us in 2020 or 2019 there for Anime North, but
we were going to
before
2020,
COVID, right?
yeah, before COVID. Yes, so 2020 was we were supposed to have a co-event at Anime North, and oh well, that didn't work out.
So we barely got started before COVID came in and sort of screwed with a lot of our plans. We had lots of plans for 2020, including having a big model competition and having lots of in-person club meets, and so none of that happened.
But tell us more about the I mean, it's very fresh, right? So
I remember
we're
that.
very young. We're the youngest club community right now in this circle, in contrast to Vancouver, Montreal, and Ottawa. When we were conceiving this, I already told Andrew that I was going to meet up with a friend out in Vancouver anyway. So I figured, you know what, like I started contacting Vanpla just to see, you know, hey, can I hang out with you guys and, you know, maybe learn some stuff because we're interested in starting up our new thing. And Andrew at the time, when we were thinking about it, it's like, yeah, I think it'd be good. He designed the shirt as well. It says, I build Mecha. That's right. I still have it, so thank you for that, Andrew. And some of the folks here, you can see there's Derek back there. And there's Young back there.
Is Young watching? Young?
I hope so. Maybe. Maybe. And that's my friend Johnny over there that I went to, Patrick, and then the rest of the gang, Derek and Dennis. And I forgot her name.
Gloria.
Yeah,
because she was also she works in the same field in architecture. But it was so much fun meeting people in an older club. Was very very interesting because like the way they ran stuff is almost similar to what I saw here, but it was a lot bigger in scale. So they let me join one of their panels because I think one of your guys was not able to join or something like that, or you were short man. I forgot. I was just kind of like lingering. Hey Ariel, can you talk? And I'm like.
Can
yeah. Right. I was like,
a little?
You know what? Yeah, come join us. Come join us. I think you look like you can talk, right? Let's go. You can do some public speaking, right?
To all those people. So it was a 40th Gundam anniversary. It was definitely a first time for me to talk Gunpla in front of people about it, and it was so cool that like you know Vancouver has this nice presentation, very well organized, well, at least from my POV. But Derek here is like, oh, we were a mess that day, which is I went out there for GBWC, and again, this is the same time what Andrew mentioned about GBWC. It's around that 2018 GBWC. No, 2019.
It says 2019 in the back there.
2019. I don't know what year is anymore.
It does.
But anyways, when we got back, the founding members are here, but the current administrative team also includes Nicholas Teada Sanchez on this. So Andrew, want to tell like from your POV? I'm kind of curious. Like, what did you think of the idea of SIDE6, and what do you think the community was supposed to evolve into, or like what were you envisioning SIDE6?
The big thing is get as many people involved together from Southern Ontario, because Southern Ontario is just so spread out. And I mean, we started meeting people in Mississauga, and that's sort of how we got to know a lot of the people that end up eventually founding this. but none of us actually lived there, and people were coming from all over, and we wanted to sort of keep in touch with all of these people that we were seeing occasionally at club meets, or not club meets, at IPMS shows and stuff like that. So yeah, we wanted an opportunity to sort of start bringing all these people in so that we could get to know each other and and bond, and that because it's difficult when everyone
take home the trophies together. I love it when we take the trophies home. GBW gear, one of the I think this is held in Montreal, and circling back, how full circle this whole community is in Canada. Vancouver, Montreal, some of the guys that I've met are very, very awesome. Especially this guy right here. Let me tell you about Andrew. Okay, real quick. This guy right here, always thinking about what he's gonna paint next, which is great. And it was a good adventure. But the thing is, to Andrew's point, it is about community and about friends that you make along the way that share the common interest. Oops.
I mean, we wouldn't be here if we didn't build, right?
Exactly. Absolutely. So every time we go to competitions and all that stuff, I really love. Oh, sorry, wrong picture. I'm just saying GBWC 2019. It did gold, by the way.
It does.
Yeah, you won't be doing that again now.
First time for everything. Anyways, community. Sorry, Andrew, go on with community and building and friends.
The power of friendship and love prevails always.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of you took the wind out of my sails there. I don't have anything to say now.
But what was the beginning of your first gatherings, right? Well, what did it look like? What did it feel like? And what was the how can I say that? The concrete actions you took to build this community from scratch?
So obviously we started through Facebook, and inviting all the people that we already knew. But the hardest part then was trying to find a place that we could get a bunch of people together, because we're all from different areas. So it wasn't necessarily going to be able to host it at their own place, especially in Toronto where people live in condos. So finding either a site store that was willing to give us a space, that was a big part. So we wanted to really build a relationship with as many stores as possible in Toronto, to get benefits for members. And Wheels and Wings in the East End was nice enough to provide us with the space here that you can see. It's not very big, but it holds about 16 people or so. And with no conditions, they just said, "Hey, you're welcome to come and use this space upstairs. You just have to book it a couple of weeks in advance." And we were more than happy. We're like, "Yeah, this is awesome. Now we can finally get together and meet each other and just build together and socialize and talk and such."
Right. Yeah.
Amazing.
And it was good. I was surprised at how many people turned out the first time we did our community meet, because our group, right, back then we were just kicking it off. We were so fortunate to have a place, I think almost after we launched our official Facebook group, our community, the ground hard running. We were knocking on doors, connecting with locals, and as well as friends who would be helping us out. We turned into the community to build the community.
Yeah, that
was definitely, I think
you guys have your structure, from what I've noticed, has always been not community in terms of the ivory tower, but in terms of the whole community. The community creates a community, right? And every member counts, and everything counts, and everybody has a point of view, and everything is everybody's involved, and that is the greatest thing about
So that's the kid I'm working on right now. That one's yours, Ariel.
Nice.
That's the kid I'm actually working on right now. Yeah, for sure. And we use social media a lot to try and get members, but we also went to the stores and we dropped off little cards and stuff for them to include if people were buying. Put this card in their bag to hopefully drive traffic to our socials.
I got one when I bought something in Toronto. It was
and then we wanted to exactly, because we wanted to get people that may not. There's a picture of the card there. We wanted to get people that weren't necessarily on social or didn't know about us to find out about us, because people may not be noticing or knowing. If they're not already active in the community, they wouldn't even necessarily know to think to find one. Wanted to try and reach out to more people that way. And I mean, it obviously worked with our meetings. Even our first meetup, we ended up there. That, like, I expected it just to be a bunch of people we already knew. But we ended up with probably a third of the people that came we'd never met before, which is awesome. These people that didn't know who we were, you know, had the guts to come out to see a bunch of strangers and get to know us and us get to know them, which was great.
Nice.
I really think that there's, like, if you build it, they will come kind of mentality too. And I aligned with Andrew in regards to that. So when we were thinking about SIDE6, we wanted to stand out a little bit different than our conventional communities. And I'm not saying that you guys out there that have, you know, Gunpla or related Gundam name on your community is, you know, SIDE6 is any different than that. We just wanted to expand further than that because, like, myself and Andrew and most of the admin that we were working with on this, we love the mecha genre. So that having Gunpla on ours, we just felt like at the time when we're creating, it's just like kind of like restricting it to just like we're going to be known as the Gundam group. SIDE6 is definitely more open to that. So it's Gundam, mecha, and it doesn't imply that we're limited to Gunpla, which is I think one of the crucial mantra that we have, because like we're not a private group, we're a very public group. We show our work. All the administrative team are builders as well. You know, like we do and participate in events. We're actively and boots on the ground. We want to be able to compete with our members as part of, like, you know, we're no one better than you guys. We're you. We are exactly like the hobby fans. We collect stuff, we build stuff, we paint stuff, you know? So
ironically, SIDE6 may be more of a Gundam reference than Gunpla.
Yeah, exactly. Like straight up.
And you know what? I just realized that SIDE6 is a reference to the 6.
yes.
I did not realize that.
Oh,
Yes.
yo, John had like
Yeah.
my mind's blown.
That's why the 6
nice.
is highlighted. That's specifically why the 6 is
Yeah.
red. Because of the 6. But we didn't want to put Toronto in it. Like you guys have Vanpla and you have Montreal. And the reason we didn't want to do that is just because Toronto has suburbs, and we didn't really want to exclude those people or feel like they weren't included. So like Burlington or Hamilton or all these areas that are near Toronto but aren't part of it. Like I don't even live in Toronto, so I figured I don't really want to be founding a group that has Toronto in the name if I'm not even in Toronto. So
exactly.
And you know what's the funny byproduct of that though? It opened us up to international members. Like we have people joining us. Shout out to everybody that's like on the chat that is not from Canada or Ontario. You guys are awesome. So thank you for, you know, coming by to the show, checking out. Don't forget to check out all of the other communities because they're awesome as well. I mean, if they're willing to have them. But yeah, like opening up borders is definitely one of the backbone of what we did. We want to be inclusive of everybody that's into the same hobby, regardless of skill set, location, and all that. So
yeah, I think 2 people from the last group build are actually from the Philippines.
Yeah,
oh, look at that.
Yeah. Oh, look at what's this?
Oh, there.
What's
there's one of our
right.
Yeah, so we do cards here, and a big shout out to MSMN here, one of the most awesome stores in Canada. Wow, did I just do a plug for you?
Oh, sorry. Well, I mean, that was actually at the at Fan Expo Toronto, right? No, the mini Fan Expo, right? It was an event going on, and we attended, and we wanted to promote SIDE6 as much as possible. Yeah.
We're gonna segue to like the whole COVID talk eventually later on, but like obviously with the lockdowns, we wanted to stay in touch with our community, and we did do you know, our own online Zoom because like a lot of stuff are happening online. So again, the community very active still and very you know, networking. Like we got people from the States, we got people from South America, Philippines, etc. joining, and again everything that we did for SIDE6 all over Canada. Well, that one's a given, but SIDE6 would not have probably launched the way it is without obviously inspiration from the other communities have already built kind of like the foundation of the community in general. I'm talking about the cross Canada, cross international, whatever have you, because they've gone through the shit. You know what I mean? They've done through the growing pains. They've gone through things that, you know, may have gone right, may have gone wrong. So our conversations with Vanpla, our conversations with Gmtl, sometimes Ottawa because Jesse's very elusive, but you know. No, it's kind of cool that we're all in this together, regardless of which community we are, and that's what I think is the most important meaning behind communities. So
yeah.
Anyways, and that translates. I want that like for me, anyways. Like, and I'm sure Andrew could relate that. Like, you know, we want that for our members. We want them to have a space to grow and flourish in the hobby.
You outside.
Yo, man, that ice cream truck's bringing back so many memories, man.
Door meet this past summer.
Andrew, can you, tell us about this photo here, man, from your POV.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, tell us about the outdoor event.
Yeah, there was finally an opportunity where we could do it based on the restrictions in the GTA. So we got people and we're like, hey, and we were lucky it was a nice day, but we got people together and we're like, hey, you want to have a meeting outdoors? I mean, that's the best we've got. So
is that Skyers in
Toronto?
Yo, I have a question.
Yeah.
No,
people come from
London. Skyers over here.
Yo, did anyone lose a part? Because you would not find it after.
I almost did. I almost did.
Blankets.
Knowing me, like my part would fall, hit my foot, fly across the room. The grass, I'd lose it forever.
Yeah.
SIDE6 just crossed 600 members in about a year and a half in active service. We have a new refresh on our website, and we're just gonna, hopefully continue growing, alongside everybody. Again, SIDE6 being one of the newer clubs and communities, like I think has the potential to, definitely make a name for itself. But it's all thanks to, again, with the community. I'm talking about our community within our groups and members, and also the Gundam community, Gunpla community, Mecha community across Canada, across the world. Yeah. It's an amazing time to be in, to be connected with a lot of people. So
I also realized something with Gundam groups. We always eat together after, man.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Like food, it's like because like every time I go see Derick, we do something called we do something called get fat or die trying. It's fantastic. After a day of building, man, you just eat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The last part here, just the photo that I have for Andrew. Like, can you tell us about the last event for SIDE6?
It's just finished last weekend, actually. We did a group build. We were like, hey, and we were all just thinking, us the admin team, we were thinking, hey, let's do a group build and ask anyone that wants to join. So admins, we all decided on doing builds based on the colors of our logo. So it was gray, black, red. And we came up with a theme of the epic venture. So we built it off of the idea of like the D&D archetypes. So you've got like a damage dealers, you've got your support classes and your tank classes. So you had to build a mobile suit to fill one of those, pretty much the only guideline. And then for SIDE6, the admin team, like I said, but anyone else was welcome to do whatever colors they wanted to do for it. And hey, we got a bunch of people that were like, hey, yeah, let's build. Why not? Which was awesome.
Oh, nice.
So we got a bunch of different custom builds here that were filling different roles. Most people went with damage, but I mean, that's to be expected. It's the same.
It's always, I'm DPS for life.
Yeah. If you've ever played MMO, you know that like 90% of the people are damaged. So
yeah.
that was
then they blame the tank for dying. It's like, why? You didn't tank for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I take support all the time because I can't support Wart Jack, but again, thank you to the supports, all two of the entry supports. I think that's about the right ratio, right? Two support, 8 damage, and like maybe 3 tanks at best. So it was it was fun,
if anyone wants to take a look at the gallery, it's up on side6.club, which is our website, and that's just what he's scrolling through right now.
There's some nice heels right there.
All right.
One thing I noticed across all your pictures is a place to build, right? I mean, COVID is slightly a challenge, but a place to build has been provided, I think, by sponsors. And I think sponsors from I've said it before in comment section of certain groups is that I believe a community is an ecosystem between stores and people, right? They buy from stores, contribute to the community grows, the stores go back, and it's just a circle
be honest, I don't like calling them sponsors. I call them partners.
That is great. Yeah. But that's the thing. I think these guys that I've had. Oh, go on. Sorry, cutting you.
Well, a partner implies that there's a benefit for both parties, which is important. We want the stores to be successful, and we want. Hang on.
What was that shameless plug? Where was that? Show me that really quick. All right, Gmtl is brought to you by these guys here, and Victor's backside.
That is what, like a 10-year-old shirt. So
it's like 6.
I agree with Andrew though. Sponsorship denotes ownership, and so there's a problem when you have sponsors where there might be a conflict of interest.
Absolutely.
And so, especially in Ottawa, I have a problem using that word. Generally, I consider anyone that works with us on a regular basis to be a partner. I will allow people to sponsor certain events. So if they give a prize, they've sponsored this category in this event. I don't know if it's caused more trouble or less trouble. I think it's smoothed things over, but like you can never really tell for sure. But I totally agree with Andrew on this one.
Yeah, we agree with you too.
Yeah, but one of the things I noticed as a store, right? I've noticed I've been trying to help a lot of the communities. Most specifically, like one of the cases is Gunpla Ottawa, where one of their partners is another shop. So it becomes really complicated as sponsors to kind of. It's a dilemma that like all communities probably have to face, is that the number one resource that you need is space, right? And the person that offers the space sometimes takes slight monopoly over the places, and other sponsors have trouble like helping out,
sliding in.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm all about equal share personally. I think everybody is. Yeah, go on.
Our intention is to have meetups in multiple locations. It hasn't happened yet, but again, that's largely COVID. We haven't had the opportunity. But because we've been at Wheels and Wings, which is so far east, I'd really love to get a meetup happening somewhere in the west that are closer to that end, so they're not traveling as far.
Great. Yeah.
Goal. It's an absolutely goal is to try and meet up at different places, and also to sort of spread that wealth. Because even though the stores don't get anything directly by giving us the space, like we're not paying them or anything to use their space, I think most people will something when they go. So
it's an exchange of services. Right? It's also like exposure, and it's
Yeah, and so I find that's true. Yeah.
Sorry, I want to spread that wealth.
We sort of had the same. We've sort of done that where our larger meet happens at the hobby center because it has a larger space. We have a second meeting every month at Toys on Fire in Barhaven, and they have a smaller space, but we usually have it at night when there are less people, so it kind of works out. I hope that I appreciate Toys on Fire offering the space. I hope they appreciate us being there as well. You never want to step on anyone's toes when they're offering you a space in their store, and you also have to remember that they're operating a business. So, I mean, the whole thing is kind of it's kind of a very strange dance to do. It's kind of like a diplomatic nightmare. And a lot of people do not want to be in your position if you're in charge of a club, because you kind of have to do that dance like nonstop.
Oh my God, tell me about it.
with COVID, it's kind of been like a break, but I try to visit the stores when I can. It's just like with everything locked down, I hope no one feels offended. And I hope none of the stores feel offended, because I don't really buy a lot of stuff anyways. So, like I said, I'm more of a figure guy and not a Gunpla guy. Don't.
Victor, is that the same setup that you guys got going out there in Montreal?
In Montreal, we have two shops that we get home meets at. One is John MSMN. He recently expanded, so
this guy right here. This guy.
We love him.
This guy right here.
The other one is Planet Otaku. He's in a little. He actually moved to a bigger space, so he has space for us now too. One of the previous. Let me go find that image. Actually, I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna show you how small the other. God damn. Where's my shit? How small the previous shop was.
Nope, that's not you.
Give me a second. I'm just looking for the image. Okay.
I need to know who's sharing screen.
It's not me. I'm gonna share my screen here. So, like straight up, like it was like 95 degrees in this room. It was so hot. It was like, I think it was like a 12 by like 8 foot square where we had like 30 people in there. We were 100% a fire hazard. So mainly like John has been a great sponsor to us or partner to us. I'm not going to sponsor here, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of the clubs have had Plymouth help them out.
Yeah.
So they're the main reason why we have so many events here in big events here in Canada, right? Anime Revolution. We have the Anime North in Toronto, Otakuthon here in Montreal, and Plowmon's been a great help. Like they help us out with the space, they help us out with the logistics of everything. And aside from that, it's without our partners, none of this would actually work out. Like we would be here, but we wouldn't be as big.
Yeah, exactly. They help the community, and the community helps back. I think that's a great thing, and also I think they've helped bring I'd say massive boost to the community, including GBWC. Like they're the reason why GBWC is there. Like they partnered up, and you guys, Gunpla Montreal, did the initial work. They pushed a lot to get GBWC. How's the sponsoring or working in Vanpla on your side, Derick?
We are actually spoiled for sponsors, I have to say.
I know.
Because I'm looking at the page right now for our sponsors. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow,
10.
flex, bro.
What is this?
11, almost a dozen sponsors.
I'd love to say, I wish that Montreal could support that many stores.
You know what? Honestly, it'll take time.
You know what? SIDE6 is getting there, man.
You guys will get there soon enough. Because just a shout out to the sponsors of Vanpla. Thank you very much. You know, ages 3 and up. Bernie B Hobbies, GundamHobby.ca, Imperial Hobbies, Metropolis Comics and Toys, Sakura Media, right? Show Me What You Bought, RC Pit Stop, Key Tea House, and I know I'm missing one more. Magic.
Magic Box.
Magic Box. Thank you. Yes, Magic Box.
The guy from Montreal, man. The guy from Montreal.
So many I forgot. So many that even I forgot. Like some of them they don't have the space for us to hang out with, but then we still keep them involved in our events so that we still advertise for them. And like they're like basically there's like what you guys said. Funny thing is, initially before this happened, I tried to ask Sean to help, and Sean does help out, but he only helps out when we do the IPMS events, because we do something special with IPMS where we do what we call let's precise.
IPMS is International Plastic Model Society. It's a yearly event. Yeah.
They don't know Mecha.
I think in the East Coast it's a bit different story, but in the West Coast, there's a lot of Mecha builders in the closet, right? Yeah. And because we came out, because we're a group, they're able to kind of come out the closet and say, "Surprise!"
It's happening here too. It totally is happening here too.
Yeah, and, no, I'm just messing around. I love IPMS. Don't hate me.
They taught us how to. They taught a lot of our members how to judge properly, right? And look for those things to be a proper judge. Don't get me wrong, but we do something called a make and take with them, where I would go and help raid Sean's warehouse and say, "Hey, we need some cheat kits to give to kids." And I don't know if I can share some of the pictures with for you, if that's all right.
Yeah. What do you got there, Derick?
Okay. This one will come back to with Anime Revo. I'll share this first. This was back when we kind of finally were able to get a category under the IPMS as a Gunpla category. That's Sean right there.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
We were doing the thing together at the IPMS. It was actually a fun day that day.
What year was this?
I know, I was gonna say, man. So Plamod, official distributor for model kits and supplies, Bandai and all that stuff for North America, Canada. Sean here is he the president? What's his role?
He never said.
Godfather.
He won't say.
Godfather.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's the godfather.
Pimp.
Of this So the funny thing is that for us, we never had direct support from PlanMod because I remember having a talk with Sean, asking him for some support, but he says if you want to help us support the community, best to do help our customers. So instead of asking Sean for support, we went straight to all the stores that sold model kits. And at the time, back then, it was just Sakura Media, Imperial Hobbies, Metropolis Comics and Toys, and ages 3 and up. There's only 4 back in the day. And then we started transitioning from there. And this was the show that, and this is some of the kids from the Make and Take. We would give them first grades, right?
Oh my God, Alf is so cute.
Right?
Oh my God, Alf is so cute.
Okay. That's not how. But anyway, you can see. And so our members would help these little kids, because their parents are enjoying on the other side of the hall their model kits, and then the kids are here building. And this is one of our members, helping out. There's Half way back here, helping a kid putting these things together, and the kids love this stuff, right? They eat this stuff up, and which kind of leads me to the story, if you guys are right, of how we got the category to open up in the IPMS was initially the plan to invade the IPMS and kind of force them to open the category for Gunpla was about a 2-3 year strategy. First, we get the numbers, we overwhelm them to show that we're here, we have the numbers that is feasible to make this category. Then they'll make the category. But as fate would have it, it happened a different way. One of our members, Ian King, he is also a good member of the Monster Attack team in Vancouver and also with the IPMS. He's a fantastic tank builder. So he says, hey, Derek, one of the guys from the IPMS, he is going to do a show, to do a summer course teaching 12 to 10 to 12 year olds how to build model kits and get them away from playing games. Do you want to help teach, right? And I said, sure, I'd love to. So I got some first grade kits from Sean, went over there and helped teach them as kind of a sub teacher, taught these kids how to use rattle cans, and it was amazing. It's an amazing experience. There was about 30 kids there, right? And as soon as you show up with a Gunpla, they light up and they swarm you, right? Now that's of course that sounds ominous, but it actually wasn't. It was really cool kids, right? But one of the kids was the grandson of the teacher, of the guy who was doing this, Brian Heron, who was organizing this entire summer camp for these kids, right? And he would tell this story with a tear in his eye, and I love it because his grandson Caleb, was building this Revell MASH helicopter. It was supposed to be level 2. Yeah, level 2, my ass. and he was always, and most of the time when he was building these kits with his grandfather had to help him put together, right? So after he saw these Gundams, he's like, "Oh, Granddad, can we get these Gundams?" And there was a store in North Vancouver at the time that was selling Gunpla, and so they just went there and they just bought 6 kits at once, and he was so happy. So that night, instead of building his helicopter, his grandson just, attacked the Gundams, and he's building it, right? He was building this high grade. He was building the high grade. I think it was the Jesta just came out, the high grade Jesta, right? And he's building it, and then his grandson, because as the grandfather, he's so used to saying, "Oh, do you need help, Caleb?" Because he's 9 years old, right? So he's like, you need Granddad to help you out, and and for him, this was a pride for him. It was Caleb goes to him and is like, "No, I don't need your help." And then he put the whole thing together, the full torso and then the arms together, and he felt so proud, right? And that was when Brian says, "Yeah, we need to bring this stuff in for our grandkids because this is the better stuff for them to chew on." So after that, I met with they gave me a call again, and then we talked with the president of the IPMS chapter out here in Vancouver, and just organized and okay, what do you need? You need this? Yeah, let's do it. And then that's how the Gundam category came about in the IPMS here in Vancouver. And from here, we had a good they had a good relationship as a sister chapter with Seattle, and we helped open up the Gundam category in Seattle as well back in the day.
Oh, great!
Nice.
Right.
That's very nice.
It was a pretty cool story of how it all started up as like all thanks to one little kid like he loves Gundam, and I think he still builds and stuff today.
Nice. Well, one thing I've noticed, and talking about like events and stuff like that, is that it seems like it's kind of one of your goals for everyone to have like big events and big stuff like that. Do you guys think it's a requirement to as a community to aim for big events and creating these things? We can start probably with Andrew right now. That is.
I think the biggest thing we're all together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly
very
just
true,
about
but
giving people incentive to get together.
Yeah. So like on.
What do you think? Yeah.
Because when you're talking on the let's say events, you're doing events every month or something, right? Like the meets. But why are conventions like just like they seem to be a big headache? But is it worth it? Is it like, does it just bring you visibility? Is that the goal? What is the goal of the conventions?
Oh, it's my turn. All right. So
Go on, Victor. I mean, you guys have been creating a lot of big events, right?
Yeah. So personally, your first big event is going to be a shit show. It is going to absolutely suck. You are going to want to give up. You're going to be saying, I'm never doing this again. But when the event ends, you're going to want to do it again. but no, from what is it? From personal experience, big events are not required, but they are good for getting newer people into the hobby. So I think one of our goals was like basically it's like it's nurture it's find all the people and nurture them into better builders. So right, so like if you let's say like your odds of finding people that really want to build is better when you cast a bigger net, right? If you get like 200 people starting to build, right? Of those 200 people, I would say maybe like 10, 20 will really get into the hobby. And for small, I actually prefer smaller events because it feels more personal. The bigger events are fun. It brings a lot of people together, but the planning aspect behind it, if you don't have a concrete team of, I would say for like a convention, we need a sizable team of maybe like 30, 40 volunteers. Remember, they're volunteers. You can't force them to do things they don't want to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think you guys rely a lot, like a lot of you guys, to organize such a big event, you need to have people. You have to have manpower, and being a community, you're working literally without funds, right? It's all volunteering. So
that's where Plummet comes in there. Plummet helps us with all the big events.
Gonna go through yes and no. That yes, I totally agree that like number one, volunteers are very big contribution of like how it's gonna make it work. But Derick, just circling back on yours and like your experiences with anime. Oh, my POV and then your experiences with the running anime Revo. What can you tell us about how you guys run stuff on your end?
For this stuff, I agree with Teddy here. That and the way we see it is these big events are kind of like the icing on the cake, right? The main part is, as Teddy said, is the people and the personalization and just being part of that community, right? Without that community, you won't have these events the way that they are. So we focused on mainly the group builds, the meetings, and most stuff that helps build community. So I remember talking to King Nick, and I remember back he wanted to start do the GBWC, and I personally, my opinion at the time was I think it was too early. But hey, if you could do it, go for it, right? But for us, it was more for like we went and did how do I say, new thing, community things, the meetings, and then we did a barbecue, the Christmas party first, and like I had mentioned, we did Anime Evolution and Revolution here at more as a recruiting tool to kind of bolster our numbers.
That works too, yes.
That's something I noticed. So from what you guys are saying, I see that the meets are more like for the current members, the recurring members, and some new ones. But the convention ones is to actually like target the mass audience of the target market and bring more young blood, more a new audience and stuff like that, and showing that you exist, right?
Yeah,
raising awareness for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because you're going public, literally.
Yeah, going back to that, it's like these events will basically like we'll bring in more people, and we'll have like a bigger pool of volunteers to choose from the next year, right? So in a way, it's like, you know, because like old members, like they retire, or they don't have time commitments, life goes on, right? So basically, like the goal here is to get the younger generation to be more involved, right? Because eventually we all gonna retire. We all most of us are gonna retire, but we're gonna get old, right?
Exactly.
So like,
I was gonna say, like we're not midway.
Yeah. So who will like carry on the torch after us, right? Like that's the goal. It's like since like the Congo age is getting younger and younger, right? So like if we can hook them in while they're young, it's a lot easier than to hook someone in when they're older.
Oh my god.
I agree completely. I think it is very important to focus on the smaller community events, though. And the one thing that I've seen, and I think I've helped out with most of the events over the last 3 years in one way, shape, or form.
We love you, Jesse.
I love you, Jesse. Thank you so much for your help, Jesse. You're the best, Jesse, of all Canada, Jesse.
Were we laughing? That's all true.
Yeah,
it is true.
So the thing is, the one thing I do notice is that the larger events do tend to take their toll, and I think I've noticed at least one person drop out every event. And so I do appreciate how it does bring in new people, but like the focus has to be on the community, because you can't move forward without protecting what you got already. It's not risky. It's just it does cost something. Would you agree with me on that one, Teddy?
Basically, what happened to us is we took the Tekkanen route. We went all the way up, and then like we hit the top. We hit our goal, and then we're just like, all right, guys, we have to slowly climb back down and climb back up. Which we're doing. It's like, we're good. But it levels out. Yes, like the events do take their tolls. It's
Yeah, I notice you guys always take a break after conventions just to be like taking a break from such a great big thing.
If you see me at conventions, man, it's like I'm running on pure caffeine, man. It's like it's caffeine and adrenaline the entire weekend. Yeah. It's great fun, but it does I'm not as young as I used to be.
Yeah.
Like I wake up, my back starts hurting, man. It doesn't work out. But so you do miss it because we haven't had cons this year. Like,
no, exactly. But like you're saying, there's no cons this year because I think with the current situation, a lot of things go online. A lot of things like transfer to like a more digital thing, and I think we just need to live with such things. And I think Canada this year has created a wonderful event. I think it's the Great Canadian Build Off.
You mean last year?
I mean,
last year. I mean, this year.
This year, last year.
Anymore.
What year is it?
and
this is my entry.
Yeah,
this is my entry. It's still in the box.
That was a great event, right? And I think it was a gathering of all community across a great gathering of all communities across Canada, and I think you guys all teamed along, and I think all of you guys were involved in this event, right? Who has an insight on how it happened and what?
I'm totally putting Andrew on that one. I'm just gonna straight to this.
How did you feel when you were initiating this event with this initiative?
So the reason we wanted to come up with this was, first of all, was when our main local event, Anime North, was going to be canceled. So we found out that was going to be canceled. As a result of that, GBWC's getting canceled too. IPMS shows that were supposed to be happening are going to be canceled as well. So like, there's no events. There's no real incentive for us to get things. Especially for me, that's my incentive to push myself and to try new things and to do my epic builds and stuff, is to do it for an event. So like, well, if nothing is happening and all these events are canceled, well, people probably still want to get something done. People want to still compete. So that's just an event. And we're like, well, why should we just limit it to to the people that would have been going to Anime North then, because now we're going online. There's no incentive. There's no reason to keep it local. So let's get in touch with as many different communities across Canada as possible and make our own wide event in place of GBWC, which would be sort of our normal nationwide event.
Oh, that's great.
That was the reason behind it.
Did you face any challenges along the way?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Look at Ariel, like getting excited.
I mean, you can't expect to. Challenges is trying to coordinate with people, because you have, as soon as you want to work with all these in Canada, everybody wants to have their own thoughts and their own into it, and of course they do, and they want to participate. So then trying to manage is always going to be the most difficult thing. And it's not just this. No matter what you do, if you get a whole bunch of people with different ideas, different backgrounds, and it's always going to be a challenge to sort of coordinate everything and get everything to work.
Everyone kind of moves at their own way. Everyone vibrates at their own wavelength, sort of thing. So just getting everyone to move at the same speed, it's never going to happen. So you just try to be as diplomatic as possible and see it through to the end. It was a lot of fun, though.
It was fun. I was gonna say it was fun, regardless of what the outcome was.
I thought it was a.
When's the next one?
Well done, I thought.
Yeah. Question. Great question.
So, I think we put together like a really professional look, given the resources and what we had. As for the next
timeline
one,
was a big thing too, I'd say.
Yeah, and we did two parts too, right? We did a part 1 and a part 2, which sort of ramped up the difficulty. Once we sort of got our feet, we were able to ramp it up a bit for the second one. But as for another one, honestly, I'm kind of waiting on the official announcement to say that 2021 events are canceled. I'm still.
Anime North is canceled. Anime North is canceled. Let's go.
It only got canceled though, like officially, like 2 weeks ago. I think everyone assumed, but even GBWC, I think it canceled yet, even though the Australia event should be happening like in a month.
It got postponed. It got postponed last year into this year, so we don't know what's happening with that yet. Exactly.
So I'm kind of, before we really commit to doing another Great Canadian Build-Off, I kind of want to see what's happening with that, because of doubling up. But not only that, there's been a lot of the international community has sort of really stepped it up in the months following when we sort of started that, and there's so many different international events happening now anyways, that even just trying to find an opening to do it is a challenge, because I mean, I know personally working on 4 different events all ending in May. Not all the same day, but four events all end in May.
I just want to echo on that one, Andrew. Just one for the record, Great Canadian Build-Off is a historic event, because I think it is the first time a good chunk of the Canadian community gathered together to do an a nationwide event. I think that is a statement on its own about communities, about friendships, about network. And you know what? The contest, for me anyways, if you're asking me, is the bonus part. Getting to know builders across Canada through this event is like meeting you guys in our local competitions for the first time. I would not have met you guys if we didn't go to the competitions like Mecha Showdown or the stuff that Mecha Canada had and all that stuff, the gatherings, and having this in a national scale, and having, like you said, limited resources, limited time, and making it work is proof that communities can work together to make things better, to show members of all skill levels, all kinds of backgrounds and all that stuff, that we are here, we exist, and there are clubs locally that you could turn to and get supported at. I just want to throw it back to Jesse. You were trying to say something earlier on about a comment. I just wanted to get that to you as well. Or did you totally forget about that because you were just kind of cut off? We're good. Yeah.
Oh, I was trying to finish off my thing with just as a follow-up to the last Great Canadian Build-Off we did. I never actually officially sent out any of the scorecards because I got too busy at work. And to the best of my knowledge, no one's asked. But if anyone's watching and they want their scores, it's somewhere on my computer, and I could probably get it for you. just to give a special shout out to anyone who's watching that might actually get something extra out of this.
Nice. And
what? Work is hard.
But there's one other thing about the going online with all these communities, right? Like I said, it is a step from evolving into the COVID world. And how are you guys keeping up with your community during COVID? What are your actions that are you making to keep the community together in such a hard time, right?
Let's start with the West, and then we'll move east.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, with COVID, it's actually kind of difficult. So basically, right now, yeah. Let me start off with pre-COVID Vanpla, and then we'll move into the after COVID, so that it paints a better complete picture. So pre-COVID, there's like kind of like two dojos. One is what we lovingly call my place, the dojo in the garage, and then the other one is Polycap, right? Which is kind of informally run by Lloyd, a member Lloyd, and we're grateful. So we kind of have two places so that the people don't have to travel so far and so forth. And it got to the point where people are congregating. The number of people congregating was just too much for one place to handle. Then COVID hit, and right now nobody can meet. And what we're seeing right now is a lot of the younger people are congregating towards Discord. Things like that, and the older people are still sticking on Facebook and whatnot. Well, it's just basically comfort of how we're humans, we're creatures of habit, right? So we go to things that we kind of like are used to, right? But what last year taught us was we learned something great from last year. Being under the COVID was that. Yeah, we have these differences and stuff like that. But one thing is that what I've noticed is that for Vanpla, because we're mainly very people focused, I guess you can say. That's what I think, anyways. The group grew into kind of like a super niche group. So where like we're supporting each other. Like these guys would go on now. Like now they'd be on Discord, and I think they're on Discord right now. Probably listening and talking about their builds and stuff like that. And most of the building now is kind of like happening on Discord, whereas if you look at our Facebook page, don't be fooled. Yeah, it might look like there's a lot of stuff because we put our sponsor stuff on there, but a lot of the action is actually happening on Discord, and we're trying to do that balancing act. All right.
It's a great point of view where another subject parallel to the online stuff and COVID stuff is that communities have been really involved into social media, right? It's the way you guys keep with your audience a lot, and I think that's that's how the world communicates these days. And I think you guys are moving into Discord. You guys are moving Facebook and stuff like that. I think everybody has their own servers that's just like fostering to the community, and that's beautiful.
Yeah. So and just to add, wanted to add on that was that we also found out a lot of flaws that Facebook has, right? That actually does help our community, especially with the information and so forth. So what we're trying to do is right now, because technically I'm retired, right? I'm the retired prez. Right now, Vanpla runs off by what we call the council, so I have to go through them. So what we recently did, it was we're pitching to the council and make it kind of official, is that we do like a bi-weekly Discord event. Come join with us. Come, we don't want to do a karaoke night. Fine, let's do it on Discord or something like that, right? Because we find it's a better platform for people to talk. That the talking and
I agree with you, but I think I told you my flaws with Discord at some point is that Facebook is a static environment where when things are posted in albums and stuff like that, it's static. But when it comes to Discord, where the channels ever flowing with feed and constant involvement from people, which is a great thing in its own, creates the negative aspect that a lot of let's say work in progress becomes temporary. It becomes 1 minute you need to grab the attention of people. Otherwise, it's over. It's gone forever, right?
Yeah,
I just ignore everybody and just join into the next the next one.
For us, we kind of like if you group and create the channels in a certain way, you can create that level of staticism that you need on Discord. That's what we found. But we're finding it more difficult on Facebook because you cannot create multiple channels inside that one Facebook stream, right? So it's different. It's a bit different. And then so people are kind of putting their own stuff on Instagram and whatnot. And one of the things that we're going to also try to do, and you'll probably see us doing it actually March 20th, so quick plug for us, we're going to be doing what we call a roundtable discussion, where we actually talk about a build and we break it apart, saying, why did you make this creative choice? Couldn't you have made this? Because this creative choice creates negative space. And so, well, we will see, because this was kind of inspired by one of our senior members, or one of our prominent members, Joey, and we're basically taking what he taught us and running with it, because we think that's a really good idea to have in fostering our more premier builders. Because one of the things that Vanpla isn't known for is we're not really known for a lot of builders, right? We're known for having fun in a good community, but we actually do have a lot of really good builders, but we're just so low key, we're just flying under the radar, right? And I think it's time, we feel that Vanpla has a really good enough solid foundation to say, okay, let's just launch these guys right now. And I think for us this year, we're gonna be trying to launching them, and you'll see more of that happening for the community.
Shout out to Aiden actually.
Hayden
about the forums being the old school method of showing work in progress is a searchable platform that is it's an old technology that is basically flawless. It does not promote communication and networking, but it does promote like a more
information sharing and just kind of like
exactly
like a structured conversation in a way, because you could scroll back past previous posts.
And it's by subject, right? Someone has a question, and then it's a breakdown of that question, not like whatever like Jesse, up to you. Next about the subject of keeping up with COVID in a hobby of networking and community.
So we've tried a couple of the things, having watch parties and having sort of video rooms where people could build together. But you can fake it all you want. It's really no replacement for the real thing. And so I think we've just kind of laid low this whole time, which is unfortunate. We try to be a little bit active, but it's just really hard to get people motivated. Nobody's fault. It's COVID. What are you going to do about it? We have had a couple of smaller events. My friend Daryl, who was here but has now gone back to the States, he was the one that spurred us to do our unicorn event early on. We had a unicorn sort of contest and a watch party, so we watched all the episodes of Unicorn on YouTube, which was nice as a sort of watch party. We've tried some other smaller events. A big shout out to Tran at Trinity Hobby. He kind of does a little event every few months where it's basically just whip up a little haro or something, and it's small, but it's something. It's better than nothing for sure. And I really rely on our members and our partners to kind of give me ideas. And I'm really busy, and I'm glad to help when I can, and I'm not too busy, but I really need the ideas. So it's really good to see the community coming together.
But it's true,
help keep it together.
Nobody it's unprecedented time, right? Nobody knows what to do. Nobody understands how to behave. I mean, in a
I'm locked. What do I do?
No, that's it. I have to stay home, but my whole gimmick is Gunpla Ottawa or Gunpla Montreal or Vanpla or SIDE6. My whole gimmick is getting together. So what do I do now? You have to be creative, and it's really hard to. Nobody knows what to do, and it's unprecedented territory, and
you could try all you want. You're not going to be able to replace it 100%. The effort counts, and the good news is because of COVID, people are going to forgive you for falling a little short. And if they don't, well, then that's just a dick move.
Yeah, because like you said, it's nothing can really replace the interactions we have in person. It's like cool. It's like, oh look, I'm building in front of a camera. I'm like, look, I built this Gengar, but like. It's like, what if John wants to play with it? Like, for me, like a lot of my friends know. It's like, shout out to Hansi, he knows. Basically, like what I'll do is I'll walk up to your kit, I'll just take it apart and put it back, and I'll just walk away. You can't do that online.
So what you're saying is you can't be as much of a dick. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
In person, the online community is still very active and a whole bunch of a-holes out there. So shout out to all those lurkers.
That's being a dick, you know? That's you're out.
Amazing. What about SIDE6? What are you guys up to these days?
What aren't we?
We're trying to get.
That's a real question.
Yeah, an online build happening every 5 weeks or so, 4 to 5 weeks, just to touch base with everyone, especially for people that are living alone in that, just to give them some social interaction with other people. Of course, it's not meeting in person, but it's the best you got. We're consistently getting 5 coming up, which isn't bad. I mean, anyone that wants to come out is welcome to. We're not getting just people from the GTA either. We're getting people from the East Coast, from the West Coast, from the US. It's awesome. And then we just a group build that we were doing over the last 2 months, basically, as well, just to get everyone sort of working on a common theme and anything to sort of build community and give people a sense of giving that opportunity at least. So
I just want to echo on that because like also an increase to our member posting. I think this is across the board. I don't know if it's in your community, but my observation for SIDE6 is like increase in whips posting, painted jobs, that kind of stuff across not just in Canada, international wise. So there is a definite big increase, I think, worldwide of people completing said kits, showing it to people that it's not just limited to their local. The plus side, I think, of being in COVID. There's no plus side of being in COVID because, but you know what I mean. The silver lining. The silver lining. Thank you. See, that's what Jesse here saves the freaking day every time, man. I'm just gonna say the silver lining of this one is we have an opportunity to touch base with a lot larger reach of audience across the world. And I think definitely SIDE6 took advantage of this and just ran with it, both from the group builds and utilizing online platforms, Facebook rooms, Zoom meetings, that kind of stuff. So I think overall, like, it could have been worse, but we are making do on what we've been given.
What you're saying is that also there's more posts, but also as a social media manager, I guess, you also want to have, as social media manager / community admin, you want to have a healthy environment where people are comfortable sharing what they're doing, and also a healthy, obviously, like that's how social media works, right? But a healthy rewarding system where if people are comfortable sharing and people are comfortable communicating about the build, like, oh, I love what you're doing, this is great, giving a like there, a love there, or whatever. And I think because if you share and you get no response, sometimes you don't get the motivation anymore. But if you get both sides of a sharing, what is it? There's a term in marketing for that. There's a stalker and an involvement person, and that's what you need in a community, I believe, where like you need to have the not people who are stagnant. You can have a big community, but people need to interact. And I think in these times, this is like key, right? You need to have people interact in online and not be shy to like, throw in comments and everything, and just be honest and criticize and just be brotherly, right?
It's not about how many likes you have, it's about how many people are active matters.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I meant, right? Like, because if you share and if everybody shares but nobody interacts with each other, like it's not the same, right? So I feel like interactions are key to this. Basically.
I just wanted to again, guys, everybody who's watching on YouTube and Twitch, thank you for tuning in. We've been talking about communities, but the history of certain communities that are featured here. There's going to be future episodes also showcasing other communities. I just to let you guys know that we're not limiting it to just these 4. I think it's going to be an ongoing thing, maybe a monthly thing if we could get other communities joined in and get their POV, because there's just so many out there, both big small or new or old or whatever, like all around the world. There's just so many communities. I want to touch base on advices for people who might be interested in starting their own community. Because like I've seen a lot of people, like they just don't feel like they want to join a big community, right? Or hey, you know what? Our region of the world has like this is our niche thing. And you know, like from, I guess my question from like, well, let's do a round table. I think this would be a good, I don't know, what do you think, John? Like just ask them.
Oh, I believe
yeah.
I also have my own opinion about that. Like,
I want to start with, I just want to start with asking, like, you know, what kind, if say someone wants to start a community for I don't know, whatever their hobby is. It could be Gunpla, it could be mecha, it could be painting, it could be miniature, whatever. But you know, like, what are some of the stuff I think you know, you could give these guys? Let's start with Montreal. I was like, these guys seems to be the fun bunch here.
You gotta find people with similar interests, right? You can't do it by yourself, straight up. Like, there's no, you can't be a single person in a group. You actually need to, like, how we started was that we started with 5 guys with one common goal. Like, we wanted to, like, bring the joys of Gunpla to everybody, like, as many people as we can, right? So don't do it alone. Find a team that you can work with, because you can't do anything alone, like, straight up.
Jesse, advices for people who want to start their own community. Yeah.
So I'm going to give 2 pieces of advice, and like these are the ones that keep me sane, because there is, when you're in a situation where we are, and I think we touched on this briefly earlier, is like we are individual communities, but we're all joined together by some wider network that is uncalculable. It's pretty big. We're all joined,
the new type,
whether we like it or not. And so the 2 pieces of advice I have for anyone that is thinking about starting their own club is, 1, move at your own pace. Like, it doesn't have to be right away. You can just start, like, all of these stories probably started either actually in someone's living room, or the plan was someone's living room. Because with us, that was the plan. That was the plan, and we lucked out we got store space right away. So we were really lucky like that. So my first piece of advice is move at your own pace. And my second piece of advice, and this is key, do not compare yourself to other clubs.
Oh yeah,
right.
Because other clubs move at different paces and they have different ideas. Some clubs might think that having the most members is the most important. Some might think that having the most sponsors is the most important, getting the most money in the door. Do what you got to do to have a happy community, and do not compare yourself to others, or you will go insane. Literally, the only thing that keeps me going.
One thing that we said earlier also is that basically your community is the people, and every people is different. So every community is different, and every community needs to be based on their own people and see how they can react to what the people need.
And also the environment as well, right? Because I think also environment plays a large role in that as well. So everyone's environment is different, right? Like, I'm very, very sure you can't have Vanpla out in Halifax. That's not going to work.
Not necessarily.
Really not going to work.
You know what's funny? Funny about that?
Their own Halifax community, right? Their own flavor from their environment and stuff like that.
I didn't even know Halifax Gunpla existed until I reached out with them. So part of Great Canadian Build Off is like I went and reached out to other communities. Literally went on Facebook, typed in Gunpla, hit groups, and I'm like, what's this? There's Gunpla Halifax, there's Nova Scotia, there's
Gunpla Halifax is a growing community.
Stuff. There's the northern part of Vancouver. I thought there was one in Nunavut, but it turns out it's just one, so I didn't approach them just because I don't know what kind of igloo that they're living in. But the point is, there was a lot of like other small communities out there. Let's circle back on that one. Andrew, advices for communities. I'm just gonna go over here now and waddle my corner.
By example, participate. Like if you're gonna have a build event, you need to be there. You need to participate in it yourself and do it. And so do all the other people. All the other organizers all need to participate in the events that you're hosting. Just to show that you're part of the community. Like, hey, you guys go do this while we watch and judge you.
Dance puppets.
You have to participate. Exactly. You've got to participate. And the other thing is, especially with online, is be a person. Like, don't like online present, you don't have like an anime face or a cat face, whatever, on your profile that nobody knows who you actually are. Like you have to be visible. You have to be identifiable as a real person for people to connect with you and to trust you and to accept you, really.
Absolutely. And just to echo on that, lead by example. I think all of us talked about this earlier on. Leading by example is definitely something that at least our community, and I know you guys do too in your own respective community and how you guys approach your communities. But to Andrew's point, putting a face on who is administrating the community, being part of the community is important. And you got to be boots on ground with them on your community, because if you're just some guy that has or a person that has an elitist status and judgy and all that stuff, maybe starting a community might not be the best thing for you. You know what I mean? And that's a totally different subject altogether. We're gonna get to that on a later show. But I've seen communities that have all these great builders or whatever, but I don't know, sometimes it feels like they're condescending to a lot of the newer ones, oh, you're posting that and stuff. Or if you go to some of the smaller communities who don't have a general direction, people tend to be judgy. It's oh, you guys are posting Pokemon in a Gunpla community. At that point, you know what I mean? You're just being a dick to people.
From what I've noticed, this hobby is more welcoming than most. It's because like I say, if I were to start building military planes tomorrow, I get roasted instantly.
You'd get roasted.
If I post it towards a model plane group, it's oh, you're doing this wrong. I'm like, thank you. But what I've noticed in Gunpla is that everyone just bounces ideas off each other. It's criticism is usually, when I say usually, constructive.
Yeah.
It's because most people will tell you it's they'll ask for criticism and they can take it. I've seen it. Whereas other some other hobbies where you criticize someone and they're gonna be like, dude, I'm not doing anything wrong. It's you that sucks.
Jeez. Before we continue, I just want to do a shout out to Teddy Fan donating some for our cause here. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Very big appreciation.
To add I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just wanted to add to everybody's showing that, if I may, for the three things, I think I also said it to Ariel last time, right? Mm-hmm. For the advice thing is, for what I mentioned to Ariel is, I think it was three things, right? Was go with a motto is very important. Establish a motto, number one, because the motto is what helps provide the boundaries in the framework that your club is going to work within, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Vanpla was learn, build, share. We build everything around that core concept as a kind of a moral compass to guide us forward, right? Second is do something on a regular, and then people will congregate to that regular event naturally, right?
Right.
And third is tolerance. As being the person who, if you want to start the community, you're going to have people that you may not agree with, but you must. If you are the person that can be okay, I can agree to disagree, then yes, you can be that leader. But if you can't do that, pass it off to somebody else, because you're going to have that little kind of grudge all the time, and it's not going to be good for the community.
Yeah. One thing to add to everyone from your point of view, that firsthand experience actually, the concept of ivory tower of an administrative team, I believe it is not the proper way to lead a community. I think you should be able to sign your name at the bottom of your opinion or your comment or whatever, or your actions that you did. Sometimes, you're dealing with people, right? There's always hard decisions, hard actions. And I think if you can't sign your name at the bottom of that comment or whatever, is that you're not leading with the people. You're trying to act as like I said, an ivory tower. And that is not the way. You need to be close to your community. You need to be accountable. Very important. Be accountable for your actions. I believe that is a very important part of it. Be open, because you're dealing with people always. So, yeah. Yeah. So
I'm agreeing with you on that. Like I want to criticize it, but I can't, because like it is so important that you stay active, you communicate, like all the points that you guys have all pointed out, they're all valid. Question for you guys, so like, how do you guys keep your people motivated? I know we touched base a second. Do you guys have like like something that you could tell others that are just starting off, like, hey, if you guys want to keep your community alive, striving, fun, happy, what would that be? Let's go with Montreal in this one.
Honestly, just keep building. Like, the more you build, the more people see, the more people want to join.
Yeah,
the more
exactly.
people. It's
lead by example. That's
pretty much
perfect.
Yeah. Lead by example. It's like I build every day when I have time, right? So it's like people will ask us, "Oh, what are you doing here? What's your next build here?" Then I show them my little corner of shame, saying, "I'm going to finish these eventually."
Who said this stuff like that? Yeah. Like failure is the way you learn. So corner of shame is a winning for me.
It's too much stuff.
More parts.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Ottawa, what do you guys do to keep your? What would you advise me to keep your communities active, especially when you're just starting out?
Well, so when you're starting out, you're lucky because it's already fresh and exciting. So you kind of have a little bit of a momentum there.
Good point. Yeah.
The real problem is if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, it does get stale. So the two things you really need to keep things exciting is you need energy and ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And it is important, like you said, it is important to lead by example. So I do try to get involved as many of our events as I can, but everyone knows like I'm so ridiculously busy at work, it's not even funny. But it's true. Like just having anyone be like, you know what, we should do this. Do not dismiss ideas. If someone has an idea that it may even seem silly, but it brings a new energy, just go with it. And I am blessed to be surrounded with people that will toss out ideas and they'll just be like, well, maybe we should. I'm like, let's do it. And you got to have a guy. It's good to have idea people. It's good to have someone who will get it going.
Yes,
so it is teamwork. It is 100% teamwork.
And I completely agree with that one. Now, Andrew, like SIDE6, from your experience in there and something that you maybe have observed, what can you tell people that are starting off how to keep their community active when they're growing and starting?
Just inclusiveness, giving people an opportunity to join in with whatever you're doing. That's the biggest thing.
Good points. Vanpla.
I'm a bit more calculating. That's because of that. Because that's my nature. There's a book called Tribal Leadership that I read, and then was reading and I used those techniques out on Vanpla, and it succeeded. So the thing is that we're tribal by nature, and basically, in order to get us operating in a certain group, right? I have to get the group to see everybody to see as like in Vanpla, not as an individual, but as we, right? And I kind of let that be my guide. So I did everything I could, including what Jesse's mentioned was exactly, say, listen to people's ideas, empower them to, like if it meant empowering them to run with the ideas, if it meant empowering and listening to people when they're down or whatever, I just did what I had to do so that they would change from seeing themselves as outside the group to seeing themselves as the group. So instead of talking about Vanpla as like, oh, I'm with Vanpla, no, they are now saying I am Vanpla. We are Vanpla. So
we are
Vanpla. Psychological change.
Boku a Gundam.
And there's
I'm from that point of view, and that's from the point that kind of thing, because I'm an engineer, so I like predictable outcomes, right? So, it may sound I guess ominous in a way, but it's not. It's just trying to say, I'm just trying to like make it so that everybody sees us sees their group which is Vanpla as their own. So I would go out of my way to try to empower people as much as I can, if that makes sense, right?
And so there's also sort of a win-win aspect there, Derick, where if someone has a good idea and you kind of encourage them and then maybe help them, it does. If you're running the club, it takes a little workload off your plate. So it's kind of like a win-win there. It really is. and you may just be accidentally stumbling upon the next president, or like someone might be your successor, because like we're all going to get old, and the club's always going to need fresh blood. So yeah, it's sort of like a win-win situation where someone comes to you and all you have to do is help them. All you have to do is help them, and you could be saving yourself a buttload of trouble.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the lens at which I kind of see things as like, okay, how do I kind of empower the next group? Like, you know, the person is like, because there's a lot of people that comes up with the ideas and they're like, oh yeah, you know, wouldn't it be great to do this? You know what? That's a fantastic idea. Research it out. Yeah. Let me know, right? And then some people would do it, and some people would let it fizzle out, but that's okay. They'll come back again at it, and then I'll still be there to encourage them and say, yeah, let's just, you know, do this, right? And just to your point, Jesse, and it has created a lot of win-win situations for Vanpla, a lot, right?
That's awesome.
Amazing.
That's very awesome.
Larry's saying, "I am Gundam."
No.
Is he really?
But aren't we all in a way? You build Gundam, you are Gundam in a way. All right.
Some of you got some Xeon blood in you, man.
Did you sing Xeon today?
No.
You sing Xeon today?
Federation.
Every morning. Oh, that was great. So yeah, so like that's the thing. Communities is a great thing, and I think we're just growing every day, right? Every community across Canada and across the world growing every day. Until then, everybody, where can we find you guys?
Ooh, right? That's a good one. We're approaching our last couple of segments here. But thank you so much for attending, guys. Lots of insights, and I really hope you guys could come back for future events, because I think there's a lot of topics that we didn't get a chance to talk to. Let's start in the West. Derick, where can people find your club, and you know, where are you guys most active? That kind of stuff.
Okay, so basically, come check us out on Facebook groups at Vanpla, and please read the About section, because in there is also the Discord link to our Discord channel, where we meet up every night now. And there's regulars there, excellent people, really cool guys. And if you want to get your meme on once in a while, you know, I'm pretty sure we can accommodate as well, right?
Andrew, SIDE6. Where can we find SIDE6? What are some of the stuff here?
Well, you can search SIDE6 on Facebook, of course. You can go to side6.club to check out our website.
Right on.
Beautiful,
right
beautiful.
On.
Thank you.
Jesse.
So I had to look this up because that's not it, though.
That's not it. What?
It's not the Facebook address. It's actually facebook.com/groups/Ottawa Gunpla.
Are you sure about that?
Maybe we have both, but I just ran it on Facebook just to check, and it's
why?
I know.
Why?
It may have existed, but you know what? It may have been a thing before we actually finalized. I don't know. So you can check us out there. Just know that we are a private.
Facebook.com/group/Ottawa Gunpla. Boom.
And so just be aware that we are we do have a private group, and the reason why we do that is so that people can feel comfortable posting without their relatives. It's important. We took a vote on it, and I was like flat out, I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable. Like, be yourself. This is a private area. So it is private, and we do have questions if you try to join, and one of them is, do you live in Ottawa? If you live in a surrounding area, we will let you join, but we're pretty selective because we just don't want the group to become a social media circus. We really want to focus on our core members. So when our Facebook group says we have like 300 people, I don't want you to think we have 300 people coming to the meetings. So that's kind of why we do that. We're not trying to be dicks to anyone. It's just we really didn't want it to. We didn't really want it to turn into the next big social media thing.
It's involuntary, right?
Yeah.
And so the other thing is, we used to have a website, but then John took it down.
Look at this.
So I upgraded my server, and basically I migrated everything, and it wasn't part of the core stuff. But I did pledge officially, and that is recorded now. I pledged to build the Gunpla Ottawa website. So
just to let you know, we never actually got the website started or finished, but it used to be a little animated GIF of Char running continuously.
That was great.
To a loop of the gallant Char song from the Mobile Suit Gundam soundtrack. And some of our members would have that on a loop because they just didn't have that copy of that song anywhere. I have it somewhere in MP3, so I'm lucky.
Nice.
But you can find us. You can find us on Facebook. We have a Discord as well, which is on the Facebook. But like I said, we're a little bit private, so you know, Ottawa people are just big sticks in the mud. If you're from Canada, you know that.
Oh yeah. Damn Ottawa. Now our Quebecois friends. Bonsoir, mes amis.
You can find us on Facebook at Facebook group /Gunpla MTL, not Montreal.
I've been told you guys need. I told you guys this.
I didn't realize that until I actually searched it. So it's Facebook /group /Gunpla MTL.
It is. I just checked.
Yeah, I just checked it, but just to make sure.
Who owns these servers? Like, there you go. There, Gunpla, MTL. Check them out. Facebook groups.
You should be able to search us on Facebook, though, right?
Yeah, Gunpla Montreal gives Gunpla Montreal. Gunpla Ottawa gives Gunpla Ottawa.
Yeah.
There's only one SIDE6.
Quick question. Quick question for Vanpla. Why is it Vanpla and not Gunpla Vanpla? Gunpla
People actually thought it's a play on Gunpla, but it's not. It's Van for Vancouver, Pla for Plamo. For plastic.
Okay, yeah, that's it, Vanpla.
Yes, so then we combined the two to Vanpla. It's not actually from Gunpla. It's actually Vanpla Plastic Plamo. That's how it came about, the name.
Nice. But why not Gunpla Vancouver?
Because at the time we wanted to, because Nick, I think,
originality, I guess. It's
more for around A, a bit of originality, and B, he didn't want to limit us to just Gunpla because he also liked to do the super robots, and plus sometimes we want to do a plane or
for sure.
a tank, right? And modify that stuff. So we wanted to be as inclusive as can be in that name. So it just Vanpla came to be.
I have such tunnel vision.
I think that settles that everyone's changing their names now because everyone is in agreement that they don't want to be limited to Gunpla.
Yeah.
I just don't want John to be getting my website. That's why I keep changing it. I'm just going to rebrand the whole time. I just don't want him coming back to his, Ariel, I got side6.club.com.org. Why?
Nice.
You know what? Do we have time for this? I really am curious about.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll give you the time.
Okay. One shot at a time. Just speak at us. If people, again, this is just going to people that are starting up their own club. They're very small. They're just getting into it. Acquiring sponsors is one of the major things that we've all talked about and acquired for our community because we believe it is part of a symbiotic relationship between community members and where they get their resources and vice versa.
It's literally, they're literally products, right? So they have to come from a store. So, I mean, sponsors are a big part of this, right? Partners.
Let's start with Ottawa. Give me some air quotes on this. Advice for people that are trying to get into sponsorships for their clubs.
If you're anything like me, you're literally terrified of everything else on the planet. No, seriously, my advice to you is get someone in your club that is a natural salesperson, and they'll be more comfortable just going to ask for help. In our case, a lot of the times I don't ask for help. A lot of the times I just fundraise through raffles and stuff. But if I have a big event and I need some kits, I'll ask Planbot or I'll ask the stores like, hey, do you want to put a kit in for this? Or like a lot of them are much nicer, but I'm just terrified of everyone. So my advice to you is literally find someone who's not afraid of everyone.
Yeah, most of the answers to stores like, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Yeah, well,
you have to kind of do the accounting on that one, which is a lot of the times if they support something, it does benefit them one way or the other. You will have some stores that don't see it that way. I mean, it is what it is. Not everyone's going to be the same, but the biggest hurdle will be overcoming your own limitations. So if you're like me, you're literally afraid to ask for help. You're literally afraid to ask for anything because you're afraid of everyone. Just overcoming your own limitations or partnering with someone who is not you, that has the skills that you don't have is essential. Yeah. And if you can get a club that has someone that's good at everything, you're doing great.
Well, one thing that you said is very important. I think is also like it is not they don't owe you anything. They're not giving you anything. It's a partnership, right?
Yeah.
So go in there and try to see what you can offer them because what you can offer them and what they can offer you, and it's a discussion of what you guys can work together. It's a partnership working together, and it's not a can you give me this? What can we do to make this thing better? and
you
bigger.
You have to be transparent and accountable with your prizes as well, because you'd never want someone to think that you're just taking it for yourself.
It's not only about money. It's not only about kits, right? There's you need resources. So resources is either kits, money, even prints. You know, sometimes we have contacts. It could be space.
Yeah, space is the big one.
Space is the biggest one. Yeah. Well, it was the biggest one. It's just any resources that you can help the kit, the community grow, and you need to find what resources you need, and then you can discuss it. Right. So
my point on this one is first, don't worry about it. Just leave it alone first. Focus on, as everyone's been saying, like on the people first. Focus on having fun with building with the people that you are hanging out with, either in person or through Discord or Zoom or whatever you're doing, right? Once you get that, and then when you hit that limit of like saying, oh, we're bored, we want to do something else, then look for the sponsors afterwards, because that's when everybody will be like, oh yeah, we're ready to chip in, kind of thing, right? But at first, don't even worry about the sponsors, right? Sponsors should be, in my opinion, a secondary thing rather than a primary thing.
Like,
all right, Montreal.
Going with what Derick said, it's like, to build your community, like, you don't really need a sponsor to actually just build a community, right? The first thing you need is actually a community. If you don't have a community, why do you need sponsors? So first of all, build that community up. Get a team together. Just people that you can trust, people that you can just sit down, build with, like, spend hours upon hours, right? Without the community, there's no sponsors. But once you get the ball rolling, and once you start doing little events here, local events, like, prove to the store, what was it? Like John said, find a store, and they should say yes on the first try, because it benefits them as much as it benefits you. So build the relationship. Just keep building a relationship. So over the years, eventually like more and more will come. Like for us, we started out with one sponsor. Well, partner. We go with partner, and then after that, we grew, and now people are just knocking on our doorstep saying, "Hey, can we help out? What do you need?"
Nope.
If you provide the labor, and if you show that you're passionate enough, people will come to you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just to echo on everybody's there, because like Andrew had to go. Thank you, Andrew, for joining us tonight. Yeah. So I'm stepping in for SIDE6 at this time. Sponsorship, I think, like what you guys said, it is not essential, or it's not mandatory to start a community or maintain a community. But eventually, as you do your growth, your work towards it, you could get some stuff. So it helps the community, be appreciated. And I think having partners with your community is a big, either milestone or a step up, because hey, you're legitimizing your claim on your community, you're making a mark, and you're giving something back. And again, not only to your members, but also to the sponsors. Advice on getting sponsored, though, is very tricky. The only thing I could say is, like, if you don't ask, then you won't get, or at least you won't get an answer. You won't know. I've asked when I started the SIDE6, like, I was very kind of like hard hitting and like, hey, there are certain stores I want to work with for our community because I think they will help our community grow. So that was the mindset when I was doing it. I put together a package, literally an email stating that, who we are, why you should consider us. Consideration is the first thing. Don't just ask for like, hey, sponsor us. Keywords are considered. Please check us out, and then and then work your way to build that relationship with either said store or said partner, right? So that again, it just takes work. It is not impossible to attain, even if you are small. That's another thing too. And again, don't be that be your driving force that makes your community grow. Like obviously grow your community. And right now, what Victor was saying about like people coming out to sponsor you, they will. SIDE6 right now are like, we've been approached several times now to grow and continue because they see the activity, they see the community, and they see the positivity on it. So keep at it, ask, and the worst thing the worst thing that you can do is like they're gonna say no, right? So,
yeah. Keep in mind also that sponsorship is a field of study of its own. Like there is documented like documentation on how to do things and stuff. You can read on that. It's a good reference and good for future, like for life in general, I guess.
I liked you better when I thought you went to school for coding and not business.
Oh man,
jack of all trade.
Yeah, just to add on that thing about the sponsors thing, is if you can, I know some places you can't, especially for small towns and whatnot. But if you can, try not to limit your sponsors just to one sponsor.
Yes.
Because if that happens, you're going to have the part where the sponsor dictates stuff to you, and that's going to be massive conflict of interest. So be careful with that.
Absolutely. I've seen it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't get into that.
First off, I know, right? Unless they're really, really hot. But anyways, guys, thank you so much, guys, for coming in tonight. I know we had a really long show. For me, it was fun. It was so great to hearing all your different POVs, especially from how you guys run your community, your growth, your history, and how network we are. And again, it's such a really fun hobby. I'm glad that there's communities out there like what you guys have, what we have here. And for those guys who are watching or considering joining a community, please feel free to check them out. The description is in the YouTube. I think it's in the YouTube link, but if not, find them on Facebook, guys, and check them out. Now, we were just talking about sponsors. We got to do a little blurb for our sponsors tonight here. This show, guys, is powered by MSMNstudio.com. If you guys are looking for model kits, supplies, tools, and Jonathan for your website, check them out, MSMNstudio.com, and hit them up on their Facebook and Instagram as well, guys. This is powered by USAGundamStore.com. Visit them as well if you're looking for model kits, tools, supplies. They are located in the States, but they also ship internationally. You could save also with my discount code AOMECHA10. Don't forget to check out SIDE6. I know we talked about SIDE6, but a little quick plug for our little community out here on the interwebs. And AOMECHA Live, just an update on you guys here. I am now confirming that we're going to be starting early April. So I will be back streaming live after a March break for me. So that's it. That's it I could say for that. John, any final words for our guests here tonight?
Thank you for joining. Right, like you guys are the expert on the subject, and I think it's been a great talk on all these things, all the various aspects of a community. And thank you also to the audience, right? Everybody that joined in, everybody that pitched in, and everybody that
thank you
probably
so
got
much.
Inspired.
Yeah, that inspired, that helped, donated some stuff for us. Thank you so much. That really means a lot because it helps us continue on putting more production value in towards our show here. Hopefully you guys like. Next show, next Thursday, again at around 9 p.m. We have a new episode for you guys. That one's still in the works, so we can't talk about that just yet. But it's going to be fun and exciting with more of our friendly faces of our friends joining us. And if you want to be part of the show in future episodes, give us a DM, get us a message, and then hopefully we could talk with you guys live and not just on chat. So yeah, guys, thank you very much again, guys, for doing the show.
Thank you.
We wish you the best of luck with your communities. I know it's a hard time, but keep in touch and all that stuff as well. Okay, that is it for me. I just want to say bye and thank you again to everybody. So
thank you guys.
Bye, everyone.
See you guys.
Oh my God! When is that gonna? Oh, wait, we're still live. Oh my God! When is No, it was a fun show. That guys, that was good. I like it. Are you guys done your beer? I'm still drinking.
We are live.
Yeah, we're totally live. Yeah. We're totally live. Yeah,
you can still talk trash. It's okay.
Yeah. Where did Andrew go? What the hell, Andrew?